So I've come out and I found this really nice football pitch for me to do this review on, but the wind has got crazy. So I'm actually stood in front of the cricket board that's used so you can see the ball in the air, just to reduce the wind noise. So here's a white board with some graffiti for your background. What's up guys, James here from BootWizard Boot Reviews, out here on this lovely green football pitch that you won't be able to see for this review, to have a look at the X19.1, how it performs, whether it is worth your money. Now, this is victim of something that I really don't like in a football boot trend right now. Football boot companies, Nike, Adidas, Puma, they're all guilty of it, are trying to build hype around new boots and new names. A new colorway isn't enough to build that hype anymore. So what they're doing is they're releasing boots more regularly. Nike seem to have just switched from their 2-year cycle to a 1-year cycle of brand new boots. Adidas are still releasing on that 1-year cycle, and Puma are knocking out boots as fast as I eat lunch. And it's to build hype, it's to get you to buy them. But they can't innovate as fast as they're putting out the boots, which means we're getting boots with tiny differences with brand new names. But are they worth it? The Puma Future, the 4.1, is an excellent example of a boot that did not need that update. It's not helped the boot, it's helped the boot 3%. It wasn't a big enough upgrade to justify the new name. So, is the X19.1 a big enough upgrade to justify a change from the 18.1? Stick around, we're going to find out. As always, we are going to kick off with the upper. Now, if somebody provided you with a technical specification sheet of this boot and the X18.1, you would look at them both and be like, well, they're the same. But it's not true. This is where they've made that difference, and this is where we need to discuss if it's big enough to justify the new name. So, this is Speed Mesh. The 18.1 was Speed Mesh, but they're actually very different materials. This is much thicker as a layer, and it has this ribbed texturing in it, and that's one of the reasons that it is thicker, because they've added this ribbed texturing. This particular colorway does have a glossy kind of sticky finish as well, which is fantastic, and both of those things, the ribbed and the sticky finish, both give you a little bit of extra grip and a little bit of extra texture on the ball, which I really, really like. But getting back to the change from the 18.1, the 18.1 had that thinner outer layer, but then there was more layers of material. They had a full synthetic suede liner, which this does not have. You can see, I think, if I get the angle right, you can see by looking in the boot here, through that cutout, you can see just here, that grey area. That grey area is the outside of the boot. It is that mesh material that the full upper is made from. And it's basically structured enough now that you can get away without having to give it that full internal liner. Now remember, this is a speed boot. Less layers of material between you and the ball does lead to a slightly more barefoot touch, which is fantastic. And this extra structure to the outside of the boot, although you've removed the internal structure, the outer structure actually makes this boot more responsive than it was before. And both of these things, while changes of maybe 5%, 10%, they really do make a difference to this boot, and I've been very impressed with the change from the 18.1 to the 19.1. So to answer my question really early in the video, yes, it was worth the name change, purely because of the upper, and mainly because not a lot else has changed. So we move from the new to the old and the familiar. This is the Speed frame, which is just a relabeled sprint frame, which offers you really great stability in the heel and midfoot, and then a really nice amount of flexibility in the forefoot. This is not the most aggressive traction or sole plate that you're gonna find on the market. In my view, that definitely comes from the Mercurial, but it certainly offers you aggressive traction, Adidas's best aggressive traction, and something that's a little bit different from that super aggressive straight line speed, as it is a little more flexy in the forefoot while still giving you a really solid base and some nice responsiveness. My gripe with it simply comes in the fact it's 4 conical studs in the heel, some triangular studs in the forefoot in a layout that is so synonymous with Adidas that I just think they need to try something new. Now, I realize at the beginning of the video, I basically complained about change for the sake of change. We've basically had this outsole for about 10 years, and I struggle to believe that Adidas haven't been able to come up with something better in a 10-year span, especially when their main competition in Nike is kicking their ass, basically, when it comes to straight line aggressive traction. This is really good. You are not going to complain about it. It's an FG-AG layout, although they don't label it FG-AG anymore. It's the same as the 18.1 that was labeled FG-AG. It's fantastic for both surfaces. I really like it. I just want to see some innovation. Is that too much to ask? So look-wise, as I said before, the looks are basically very, very similar to that of the 18.1. The main difference is coming in the fact that that little seam that ran over here has been removed, which I think looks better. And also you do obviously get that ribbed texturing effect, which you didn't get on the 18.1 either. But overall, for a silhouette, I think this is a really nice boot. There is definitely an argument to be made that this is Adidas's best looking boot from a silhouette point of view. But in this colorway, personally not a fan, but I think from everybody's reactions to my unboxing, I would be in the minority, and most people seem to really, really like this. Overall, a great looking silhouette. Personally not a fan of the colorway, but no complaints about looks here at all. But it is another thing that really ties it together with the 18.1 and really makes it feel like they didn't do a great deal to make the improvements. Value for money. This is a top-end Adidas model, which means it's expensive. This is 220 euros at full retail. The X19 Plus is 280 euros at full retail. So when you compare it to its sister boot in the laceless variation, which in my view isn't as good, it starts to sound like pretty good value for money. But 220 euro is not cheap by any means. It matches up with what's around it. It's slightly cheaper than the Vapor. It's definitely a lot cheaper than the Superfly. In terms of a top-end speed boot from a top-end brand like Nike, Adidas and Puma, it sits right in the middle of that price point. Does that mean I can recommend it as good value for money? Absolutely not. It is 220 euros, which is a damn expensive football boot. This boot has now been out a little while. We're now on the 3rd or 4th colorway for it, which means the launch colorway, for example, the 302 Redirect, is now going on sale. So keep your eyes out if you want to grab a pair of these. They're a great boot. Keep your eyes out for the sales. Grab an older colorway, save yourself a heap of money, get exactly the same boot. You just have to wear an old colorway, but the newest colorway is going to be old in a month anyway. Save yourself the money, do yourself a favor. So this comes in at 202 grams in my size. So on feet, these look very nice, I think. The silhouette is fantastic. I enjoy that low cut design for sure. And that external heel counter in that pop color really stands out. The fit is pretty good. Now, these are in my regular size, which is a UK 8. I have seen some places some advice to go up half a size in the X range. I absolutely do not agree. I think that if anything, I could have almost got away with going down half a size in these, but I'm happy with the fit and the length in this particular size. Width-wise, if you do have slightly wider feet and you're looking for a speed boot, I don't recommend the Mercurial. I just think it's too tight. But these could be an option for you. They are a little bit more forgiving, but obviously still a speed boot, still a tight wrap, and they're still going to have very little room through the midfoot. Where I think this boot really does shine is in the heel lockdown. The liner on this is fantastic. It's a really nice synthetic suede, and those two heel bumps really lock your foot along with the grip dots, and I just think it's a really nice feeling, a nice sensation, and I'm never afraid that these boots are going anywhere. I feel very, very secure in these, and that's a feeling I really like. The feeling is one that really does resonate with me from a speed boot, because it now does feel a little bit more light on your feet because of that extra material that's been taken away in the midfoot and the way that those very low profile studs do dig in. Overall, really impressed. Sizing's great. I think this is a fantastic boot. Its main problem comes that its competition is the Vapor 13, and I think that's so hard to beat right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have sunshine in Copenhagen. Let's step outside here for a second to enjoy it. So to answer my question, did this deserve the 19.1 name, or was it an 18.1 with such minor changes that it might as well have stayed the same and been a new colorway? Well, simply, the answer is it's deserving of a new name. It really is different enough, and that's because the entire upper is different. There is enough here, despite the silhouette being the same, the outsole being the same, there's certainly enough here to justify a brand new boot, a brand new name, and everything that they've done has improved the 18.1. If you have a pair of 18.1s, I'm not saying go out and buy the 19.1 immediately. But if you're looking for a brand new pair of speed boots, you like the Adidas X line, you like the F50 line, this could be a really good option for you and is definitely worth checking out. If you found this video useful, do remember to hit the like button. Remember to be subscribed, we've got loads more content coming, including a boot battle involving these. And do remember to put your comments down below. Do you think it was worthy of a name change from 18.1 to 19.1? But that's all from BootWizard here today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.